Hey then fam, so you may have noticed that there's a patent going about from Sony. Now, that's nothing new. Anybody that's been knocking around games, news and industry for as long as I has seen more than their fair share of patent comings and goings. A lot of the times these patents come to nothing. Thank God. I mean, I remember the time that Sony said, we're going to have like a little robot that'll sit next to you and comment about your games and all the rest. And no. And then there was the idea that it'd have a controller that was mushy in your hand. Or there was a recent one about a controller where the buttons would actually get harder to press and it could even lock around your fingers. No. That's just no, with a large dollop of no sauce on the side for dipping. Well, apparently their latest Wizard Weed is something that was spoken about a while ago. And it's resurfaced. And it's resurfaced thanks to all the shenanigans that PlayStation still won't acknowledge, like the massive elephant in the room that it is. Well, this new elephant is basically an idea that you'll have a controller that'll have no physical controls. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Zen fam and everything in between. PlayStation want to make a controller that's entirely based on, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but capacitive controls. Are you having a giraffe, Sony? Capacitive controls. Look, we've all played games on one of these, okay? And there's a video on the channel when I was quite excited about that Division game, Resurgence, and I was quite intrigued to play it and the rest of it. And I love the Division deeply. I've played both of them, I've owned both of them. We go back into the end of the channel, there's my unboxing of the Division 2 Dark Zone edition. I still have the statue. It still looks awesome. It sits up there next to my Pip-Boy. Yes, indeedy. And, you know, when I was playing on my phone, the controls never felt natural. Because I didn't know where they were. There was no muscle memory for me. There was nothing to feel. There was just smooth glass. Which is what you want for a phone, but not what you want for a controller. Like, when you pick up a controller, like now admittedly my cable's in here because it's connected to my mic, but let's just pretend the cable's not there for a second. Right? When you're playing on one of these, you've got the thumbsticks. You got the face buttons, you got the triggers, you got the touchpad. It's all there, it's all doing a job. I don't have to, no gamer worth his salt has to look down at the controller and go, that button is there, that button is there. You know what it is by feel. I know that that's triangle, I know that that's X. You know, I can feel where the D-pad is, I know where the controllers are. Because it's a sense thing. I mean, this is called the dual sense. You know, it's just like, come on, Sony, get real, lads. All right, take a truth cab to Reality Street. This is what a controller is. Now, yes, the battery could be better, and you know, lag is a thing, and sometimes we get a bit of stick drift. If you want to invest in a better controller, then start getting into Hall Effect sticks. Or even the other one that I spoke about a while ago after Hall Effect sticks. I can't remember the name of right now. But I did do a video about that. I'll try and remember to link it in the description. Anyway. This is what a controller basically is, right? Physical controls. Something that you feel in your hand, and you know what it is, and you know the second where you put your thumbs down, where everything is going to be. But when it's a bit of glass, it's hard to learn that positional language. this speaks back to me through my fingers, and my fingers speak back to it through the physical controls. Whilst if you have a controller that's just a flat piece of glass and a screen, that's going to chew through battery. It's not going to provide any kind of tactile feedback. And how do you how do you do a thumbstick on it? How do you put your thumb to the thumbstick when you've come back from doing something on the D-pad and it doesn't register as an L3 press? There's just too many questions, too many obstacles. Look, the DualSense is pretty decent. I mean, it's a really, really good controller. I mean, back in the day with PS4, I thought this was the pinnacle of controllers. I mean, these arms are so ergonomic. The touchpad was a joy to use. The light bar letting players know who's who, and it being able to be in contact with the camera and do stuff, and brilliant controller. And then they brought out the DualSense and they actually bettered on this, and I thought this was amazing when I first touched it back in the day. When before the PS4 was out, there was like a demo unit and you could actually play it, and I got to hold one of these and I was like, wow, this is the future right here. I was amazed with this thing, and I thought, oh my god, this. And there was all the talk about what this was going to look like. And of course there was all the talk when the PS5 was getting to come out, what the DualSense would look like, what the DualSense would be, and there was all the mock images and all the rest of it, and there was the prototype unit, pictures of that online. I mean, some of you might remember that before the PS5 came out, the amount of noise that was kicked up about that system before it happened. It was a massive, massive, massive just PR explosion of at every single angle. I used to follow this channel called Tobe Gaming, and the whole essence of his channel was about PS5 and what it was going to do, what it was going to be like, what it was going to cost, what was going to everything PS5, what kind of storage media it would have, would it go beyond Blu-ray and other. The guy went on, and it was brilliant. It was a great channel. In fact, if anything, he had a competition on the channel to win a copy of Ghost of Tsushima, and I was the guy that won. And I was like a big time, like channel member and stuff, and I was noted in the Tobe gaming community. Hello Tobe, if you're watching. You're probably not, me. I think you've given up on YouTube. But anyway, he was a lovely bloke. But that's a sideline. The main point of contention is that the DualSense, it just needs a couple of tweaks here and there. Magnetic sticks, a longer battery, a little bit more grip on the underside, possibly, I don't know, a little bit more tactile feel to the face buttons, who knows. But the fact of the matter is, what you do not need to do is turn it into a capacitive control screen. Am I quite clear about this, Sony? And I want to bet dollars to donuts that most gamers out there are going to tell you exactly the same thing. We don't want capacitive controls. We want real controls. It's bad enough we're not going to have physical games, but not have physical buttons on our controller. In the words of David Lee Roth, Sony, honey, that doggone nut hunt. It's just a nonsense. It's ridiculous. You're already starting to bleed customers by people saying that if you continue with this diskless future and there's no disk drive on the PS6, they will not buy a PS6. You will spend money developing a system, putting it on store shelves for it not to sell to your prime customers. Now Sony will go, oh, but we sold so many digital copies and only so many physical copies. Yeah, here's a truth on that for you, gentle viewer. How many Sony first-party exclusives have there been this gen? Okay? Then consider how many people bought those games. Alright? Then consider how many people double dip. When you start to add in all the little pieces here and there, or people that bought it digitally and thought, you know what, I think I'm going to get that physically. And are they adding in the people that have got games through PlayStation Plus? That's not been said. But there have been some PlayStation 5 exclusives that have turned up in PS Plus. Those are counted as sales figures as far as I'm aware. So if that's the case, then of course the sales figures for a game that you get massively discounted through PlayStation Plus, of course it's going to have higher sales figures than a physically released game. They're fiddling the numbers, my people. Fiddling the numbers. Don't let them fiddle with our controllers. This ends here. Hear me, Sony. Spread this video if you can, yeah, people. We want physical controllers. We want physical games. It's that simple. Hashtag support Scottish YouTubers. And of course, as always, aye, nae bother.